Good morning, good morning, good morning, or good afternoon, right? Good afternoon. Let's make sure we're operating on all platforms. We're up on Facebook, y'all. We are up on Instagram and we are going live. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It is July 30th. Y'all, we are already at the end of the month. Okay, that's exciting. It's exciting, but also it's ties reality, right? Let's see, August, September, October, November, December. 4 months left, you guys. This is the end of the year. Okay, so if you are on new business, if you are just starting your business, then have you taken the steps to ensure that you're properly setting your business up and that you are going to be able to access funding when you need that, right? What do I mean by that? Are you establishing your credibility? Are you establishing your foundation? Do you have your address, right? Have you registered as an entity? You're not just out here operating without having that credibility and that foundation established, right? So making sure that you have all of these factors in place. Now, if you're already an established business, do you have are you prepared as far as your system set up and your financials? Do you have all of your documents ready to go? You may not have an accountant right now. They may not even be in your budget right now, but do you have QuickBooks, right? Are you using tools like that? Are you keeping track of your financials? Guys, if you measure your financials, then I think Cody Sanchez said this. She saw this somewhere. But if you measure your financials, you triple your chance for success, right? So that is what you want to keep in mind. So today we are approaching the end of the year. No matter what stage you're at, it's important to make sure that you are staying prepared to access capital, right? Because it's important to know where to go. But sometimes it's frustrating not knowing where to go, isn't it? So that's exactly why we have this platform. Domino Effects Group was created to save you time, right? So you're not out there wasting your most valuable resource, which is your time. You're not out there wasting that, applying with thousands of lenders online, trying to choose the right one, not knowing their requirements, not knowing exactly, if you fit the mold and if you're wasting your time, basically, right? So it's important to leverage platforms like Domino Effects Group and be reaching out, because we operate in a very wide range of capacity, right, as far as access to capital. Our focus passionately is for women-owned businesses. So if you are a woman in business, if you work with women in business, in whatever service, right? Maybe you're an attorney and you represent women in business, or you represent underserved businesses, or maybe you are an accountant, right? Maybe you are a CFO, maybe you are in the tech space, right? You might be an engineer, maybe you are, no matter what you're doing, right? And you may be a coach, no matter what you're doing, if you're operating if in working with a women-owned business, then this is a platform that you can leverage to help that business grow. Because here's the facts, y'all. All right, women-owned businesses are growing. They're half of the businesses in the nation. Okay, nearly 52% of businesses employing 19 million people. It's probably a bigger number by now, quite honestly. Employing 19 million people. Okay, but let's talk about what it is, the reality. Okay, they're receiving less than 2% of VC funding. Black women even less. Okay, it's probably, I think it's around like 0.39, right? So Black women even less. So and now let's step over to the dead side, right? When women and women of color and women and even men and minorities, when women go and seek funding and they get approved, they're approved typically for lower amounts. Did y'all know that? Okay, they're typically approved for lower amounts, right? And then underserved demographic as a whole are typically approved for higher interest rates. So, guys, how do we solve this problem? Well, I believe it starts through education, connection, critical mission driven education that actually connects people, right? And resources that actually will help you leverage. So, that being said, today is Tuesday. We're covering some of our business funding programs, topics, and ways that you can access funding. All right. So today we're going to talk about a few things very quickly. All right. Revenue-based financing. Now, revenue-based financing, revenue based off of your cash flow, right? We're looking at your cash flow. A lot of companies can fall into this trap where they're taking out too many MCAs, right? And then a lot of companies can go under, right? We've worked with companies that have faced that threat of where they're possibly going to be facing closure, right? If they don't get some type of assistance, having to make very large payments because not anticipating what that could do, especially stacking 2 3 MCAs, right? Now, I think the problem is when people have run into these situations, they really don't know an alternative and what could be a resource to go. Typically, what are you going to do? You're going to go and you're going to reach out to your bank initially, right? But what if the bank cannot help? Then what do you do? Well, there are alternative resources to actually step in and help you. And one of the benefits that we do is we work with a partner that helps to alleviate, the stress of MCAs, and they really help focus on what matters most so that the business can get back to doing what you do best and really grow. Taking payments from $2,000 a day, which is, you add that up, right? $2,000 a day, you're looking at almost $30,000 a month, right? Taking that from $30,000 and reducing it to maybe $9,000, right? That now you can kind of breathe a little bit, right? So these are some options that are available. So any business that that might be in this situation, you absolutely want to be reaching out and speaking to our advisors. Now, aside from that, what about opportunity, right? Opportunities for women-owned businesses. Women, if you're a company that's generating 150,000 or more, then you absolutely need to be leveraging this platform, Domino Effects Group. Now, most of our referrals come from, banks and, other people in the finance industry and lawyers and attorneys and even affiliates. We have an affiliate program as well that refers, excuse me, I got something in my throat, y'all. An affiliate program that refers businesses over as well. But by doing so, right, we have a whole division that's absolutely focused on only women-owned companies, right, helping these innovations come to life. A colleague of mine was telling me a story that they were in the banking industry for 40 years, over 40 years, and they've done closed probably over 800 deals, right? And they could count the number of women owned businesses that were actually referred over, and many of these referrals come from banks, mind you, okay, that were referred over. What does that tell you? Well, it doesn't tell you. It's not that women aren't forming businesses and women aren't out there. We see the stats. We know what's going on, right? What that tells you is possibly that just these women were, when they went in, they either didn't go in and ask, or when they went in, they were denied, and then that was it. There was nothing else. So why not the same treatment as if, a male-owned company came in and that file was transferred over, right? Didn't happen that way, guys, right? So what can we do now moving forward? Moving forward, we take advantage of the opportunity to connect with different resources. So, a couple tips that you can do in your community. You can do things like connecting with an advisor, right? And you have organizations like SBDCs, they have those in every state. The MBDC, Minority Business Development Center, you can connect with your local CDFIs as well. Those are really great organizations that can help you with things like microloans. And not only that, but they are really focused on working with underserved communities, underserved businesses. Couple of things though, you guys want to make sure that you're prepared if you're going to be seeking that, especially if you're a startup, right? I want you guys to be successful. And part of that is just being truthful and, being self-aware, right? So if you're not making any revenue, if you don't have a business plan, if you're not registered, you go in and you're like, I need $50,000 for this idea that I have, you're probably not going to get it, right? That's just the fact. And that might be disheartening to some, but that's just the reality, guys. And honestly, they're doing you a favor, because if you don't know, if you don't have anything like a plan mapped out for your own business anyway, you're probably not going to, you chances are, right? And I'm not telling you what you would, but the chances of you actually spending that money, allocating it towards the business and towards a plan of how you're going to actually make it grow and return, the chances of that happening, or the chances of you maybe just taking that money and doing whatever with it, it's probably going to be that, right? Because if you don't have a plan for what you're going to do, how can you put it to use, right? How can you put the funds to use? You don't know what you're going to do. So be aware if you're going to approach CDFIs. Just know that you're going to put in some work, and that's okay, right? That's great. To have a business plan mapped out, you need it, right? You need it to measure your success, to measure your traction. As a founder myself, I can tell you I've gone through all of these mistakes, and I want to share this information with you so that you have it as well. But you ultimately just make sure that you're prepared, guys. Just make sure that you are prepared. And a business plan is going to help you do that. So if you don't know how to write a business plan, then connect with, like I said, your SBDC. You can connect with, come into communities like ours, the Domino Effect. If you want that link, then just go ahead and click my bio, and you can go to the link tree and you can come in and join our community. This week, or this month, we're actually going to be talking about how you can make investments into cash flowing businesses. So very exciting topic. But back to what we're talking about today, right? So revenue-based funding. If you guys are still wondering what that is, for those of you that aren't entirely sure, it's funding based on your cash flow. So how much are you generating monthly? If you're generating, $5,000 a month, don't expect to be getting $50,000, right? Because it's based off of your cash flow. So just be realistic in your ask and be pointed in your use of funds, right? Be very, very specific. So a couple things that are pretty exciting with what we're able to do as well, if you want to come on and you want to leverage this platform, is we are also able to do some creative venture lease debt deals. So if you're in that space, then I encourage you to be reaching out as well. But so that's all for today, you guys. We talked about revenue-based financing, what you can do. Oh, also a couple of things that that we need your support. All right. Show Her the Money is an event that we're hosting in Sacramento. This event talks about the disparities for funding amongst women, right? But not just that, it really celebrates the women that were able to overcome these challenges, okay? These women have truly heard no, right? Over and over again, something I'm sure all of you are familiar with, even my male founders out here, that have heard no over and over again, yet did not let that stop them, continued to pursue, continued to persist, and obtained funding. And even those women, there are women in here who became funders themselves and are now investing in other female founders. So you guys, this is, if you believe in women-owned businesses, if you believe in the cause of women-owned businesses, in supporting women-owned businesses, then absolutely you should be at this event on September 14th. And we need your support. If you're a local leader here in Sacramento, then come out and show your support, help sponsor the event, show unity, show us that, that we can count on you. And that, listen, you guys, okay, Kamala, she came together, she raised women raised $200 million for her in a week. Okay, a week. Now that is on a macro level. What are we going to do to impact our communities on a micro level, right? How can we impact our women, our businesses, our children, our families, our communities, ourselves, and our economic mobility? Well, it starts by investing in each other. It starts by investing in these women, right? Women-owned companies are thriving, they're growing, but not only that, they're showing really great returns. So why not invest in these alternative investments, right? We need your support. I need your support. I'm asking you for your support. Okay, me, Dominique, right here. I'm being vulnerable. Look at this. Yeah, right. So I'm asking you guys for clutch, like Minervaverse, like Fourth Wave. City of Sacramento, and even FEI. All right. But we need you guys, right? This event is for women, it's for women of color, and honestly, for our young entrepreneurs, our young entrepreneur community, we need to see you there, right? Because what's the biggest complaint? Not even complaint, but the biggest struggle. The biggest struggle is access, right? There's a lot of talk, but let's get in here and let's do it. Let's do it together and show the power of what happens when we come together. We can see what happens on a macro level. Man, can you imagine what happens if we all did that each in our communities, and how much that would take off? I mean, that would it's a beautiful thing. Gets me excited just thinking about it. So if you want more information on the event, then make sure you're reaching out, and you're going to show her the money. Just click the links in my bio. It'll take you there as well. You can also make sure you're purchasing tickets as well. But make sure you're coming out and you're showing support for women in business, and how we can advance a lot of these initiatives and innovations that are happening. And if you are a woman in business, and you are looking for funding, and you have been to the bank, right? A lot of businesses that have been to the bank that cannot get funded. If you've already been there, then absolutely reach out, because we want to help you. That's exactly what we do. All right, you guys, I'm Dominique. Thank you for tuning into the Domino Effect. If you found this information helpful, then make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, and make sure you're leaving your comments, right? Make sure you leave your comments and the name of your business so we can give you a shout out as well.